I ran in, kissed my kids, put half a uniform on, and I grabbed my dog and came here, and we saved someone's life tonight.
Okay, so let's see. Make this pound cake. Said 3 eggs. 3 eggs. 1, 2. 3. 3 eggs. 2 tablespoons of milk.
The man explains that he was not hunting. He has no electricity and stays in his car to rest.
2. Like that. And then some vanilla.
Says he knows the law, he wants deer.
1.5 teaspoons of vanilla.
He explains that he was in his truck resting.
Yeah, it's not the almond, is it? That's the vanilla. There's 1.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's 2.
Yeah. Kind of strange.
That's about a half. Put the rest in the bottle. Shit's kind of pricey. Sure is tasty though. Man, it's some good stuff right there, boy. And it said just mix this. So we'll mix it till it's just mixed. That's good enough. Set that aside. Set the fork down. Now it says to combine. Where's it all at? Here it is. Flour, cornstarch.
That's definitely blood. It's an illegal bear. Hey, I think I got him.
So then you combine. What do we got here? 1 1/3 cups of flour. So that's 1 1/3 cups of flour. I have to take the word for it. 3/4 of a cup of sugar. 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And since I'm not using cake flour, but I'm using all-purpose, I need to add a couple teaspoons. Couple tablespoons. Need to add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch. There's 1. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then I know there's baking powder in there. 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Where's that teaspoon at now? Three-quarters of a teaspoon of baking powder. I'll call that 3/4 of a teaspoon. It's close enough. First time making this, so it doesn't got to be perfect. Put this shit back in the shelf. Alrighty, so we got all the dry ingredients. 1/4 teaspoon salt. Speed this up a little bit. 1/4 teaspoon salt. I'm gonna call that a 1/4 teaspoon. I got all that. Said mix all this on low for about 30 seconds. Wow. That ought to be mixed well enough there. Could have done that with a fork, actually. It would have been less messy. Then it said to add, see here, 13 tablespoons of butter. So here's 8 in a stick. And it's softened. By the way, those eggs are at room temperature. You want your eggs and your butter at room temperature. And then 13, that's 8, so 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need a knife. Nah, we ain't need a knife. We use this teaspoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right about there. All of that. Get in there, fool. And there's 13 of those. Put the rest of that in the buttered dish. And it said add that. And then half of the egg mixture. I'll call that half. And mix that on low till it's moist. And he said once it's moist, then you want to mix it on high for a minute. Ooh, this is some dense stuff right here. Also says you don't want to overmix it, because then you'll incorporate too much air. And it won't be as moist and fine-grained or something. Don't want to put too much air in it. Woo, make that mess. Say that's about a minute. Now it says to add the remaining half in 2 parts and mix for 30 seconds each. So there's a half of the half. Another 30 seconds. Somebody said scrape down the sides too. So let's scrape down the sides. We got that. And do this for 30 seconds. I'd say that was 30 seconds. Add the final half of the half recorder there. Do that again. That was definitely 30 seconds. That's supposed to be all of it. See, when you have a dense cake like this, you can do it like this instead of creaming the butter and sugar first, as it said in a lot of other recipes. Let me do a quick wipe down with my bleach water here before that shit sets in. Just a preliminary cursory wipe down here. Got that. And then you want to pour it into a lightly buttered, lightly floured pan. And so that's what we have here. So let's do that. Where's that spoon at? I'm trying to make more dishes than I have to. There we go. Pour this bad boy in here. Hope I got all this shit in the frame. And then we're going to cook this. Normally, if you're using metal, you'd cook it at 350 degrees, it says. But since I'm using glass here, Pyrex, it says reduce the temperature by 25 degrees, so I'll be cooking it at 325. And either way, you cook it for 50 to 55 minutes, it says.
This time, the hunter is enticing deer with corn.
He moved the game camera off the bait. You must have seen your arm come in here.
Well, it sure does look tasty, man. I think it's going to be a little lighter than a pound cake, but we'll see. So there's that. We'll put this in the oven here for 55 minutes, and I'll be back in 55 minutes.
The main issue with that is an unfair advantage. Gonna track all the deer in.
Oh yeah.
Fair chase. He's just taking
Middle oven rack.